Been a little while. I've been busy. If you don't see me, just know it's because I'm planting things, I'm curating things, touching things, getting ready for harvest. But today I want to talk to you about how the future of work is millennial. I know there's some people who don't want to hear that, but it's coming, whether we like it or not. So let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room and talk about what this means for how we work. So, if you have not seen the statistic already, it states that by 2025, 75% of the global workforce, okay, that's not just here in North America, but the global workforce will be, you guessed it, millennials. So, what does that mean for us? I was privileged to give a really great talk about the future of millennial leadership with the Go West Credit Union Association, just a great group of young professionals hungry for professional development and wanting to open up their hearts and minds into how we can carry things forward. And we talked about some really key things. I'll just share super high level what we talked about, which was overcoming challenges and seizing opportunities ahead. We know things are moving and evolving and shifting very quickly, and we all got to pay attention, right? We all need to be on board, but especially for the folks that are essentially going to be running this show, okay? Strategies for leadership and career development, because that's changing. Now we are becoming further and further away from not having any professional development, from you just having tenure somewhere and it's just expected that you'll be president just because you sat in a seat for a long time. No, gone are those days. And then how we are going to be shaping the future. And so we just talked about some really key strategies of the challenges that we've been through in our formative years and why we have the perspective that we have. And I'm saying that because we know different generations, not even just in the workplace, but even within our family. Yeah, I can step into a room and step into a conversation, and it's like, oh, here's these millennials or you young people. I hear it all the time. But in order for us to carry this thing forward, we've got to eliminate that kind of conversation. Otherwise, it will continue to be the different kids on the schoolyard. Everybody looking at everybody crazy, but we need all hands on deck for this, essentially. So, sorry, I'm looking through my presentation. So we talked about learning to lead ourselves well. That's super important. It all starts with self-awareness. I've had several conversations even this week about leaders that are great at one thing. They're great at that function, but they are not great at people. We can't ignore that moving forward, especially us, right? We have such a drive and ambition and we're a little bit competitive, but that's only because the market is competitive. There are so many of us with similar skill sets, with similar degree backgrounds. That's the way we survive. We have to be competitive. We have to be sharpened. We have to be developed. Otherwise, we just get swallowed up in our marketplace, essentially. And we talked about learning to lead other people well. I think in all cases, not just for us, that should be the order, right? How well do you lead yourself? How well do you regulate your emotions? How well are you completing small goals and milestones? And of course, I'm the branding queen, I'm a marketing nerd. Non-negotiable in this era and space, especially if we're trying to carve out influence and legacy. Millennials, we've got to have a personal brand, non-negotiable. But ultimately, I want you to know, and I'm going to talk about this just briefly from a couple of different perspectives. For millennials, I want you to know that it's important that we prepare to create spaces where all generations can thrive. Even though we are going to take the bulk of this thing, we can't only be looking at us. We can't only be, how can I put this? Yeah, we can't only be looking at us. We can't only be looking out for us, but we have so much influence. We've got to be able to, sorry. We've got so much influence that we've got to be able to look out for the generations that are before us to kind of bring them up to speed, and then the generations after us. For the older generations, we are not your enemies. I don't want to be your enemy. There's stuff I can learn from you, but you've got to be open-minded to think there's stuff you can learn from me to make all work easier and efficient and just work much better together. But for my Gen Xers and the baby boomers that are still in the workplace, I want you to know that we can get better results when we pool our skills, our resources, and our perspectives. They are all welcome. There is a place for everything. So don't look at us as your challengers, but look at us as your partners for us to bring better results for everyone. And then to my Gen Zers, I want you to know that we are your window to insight, wisdom, from all kinds of perspectives. And we're also your shortcut to success, meaning there's some things you just don't have to stumble through. So don't blow us off, but consider us not necessarily mentors. In some cases, yes, but we can show you things that will make your work situation a whole lot smoother. And again, if we're all holding on to this thing together, then we can move forward more swiftly and everybody will be better for it. So if you have questions about the talk I gave, or just, man, what does this mean? The future of work is millennial, or for my millennials that are like, what does this mean for my leadership capacity or capabilities? Then drop me a note. We can talk about it. Lots of great insight resources that I can give you, but let me know what you think. All right. And I'll see y'all later.